Hello, this Hello, this is the African Actions Network. I'm James Jensen. I'm sitting here this morning and I'm hoping that you will join me to make a comment and share the video and also be a part of the discussion. Today we are going back and looking inside Liberia. Liberia is located on the west coast of Africa, and for most of you who may not know, especially our foreign friends, we are focusing on Liberia. Liberia is to have her elections, democratic elections this year. So it's important that we keep discussing the matters or the things that matter to that country until elections can be held and that the people of Liberia can have the necessary government that they will vote in. So this morning we want to look at just a few things, and they are not new, but it's important that we keep emphasizing some of those things that are happening inside Liberia. So we want to look at the death of Chaloe Musu. Chaloe Musu died or was killed, and since then the government is yet to reach a conclusion in terms of findings and forwarding that case to court. And there's a lot being said, and we're not going to go into all of these circumstances, but all we are asking is, hey, what is the Justice Ministry doing? Do they have a report? Is there a suspect? So I think it's about time that the Justice Ministry will have to release whatever preliminary or whatever final report that they have in their possession. Think about it. Someone's child was killed in cold blood. I'm not sure that people want us to forget that girl's death. She's dead and gone. But it is important that the government herself prioritize that matter. When someone dies or someone gets killed under such circumstances, it should be a matter of urgency to find the killer or the killers. If you do not have all of the supporting evidence, but it is important that the government of Liberia, through the Justice Ministry, to brief the people of Liberia and the world as to what is the status of that investigation. But the silence of the government or the government delayed in making pronouncement is saddening. That's someone else's child. That's another human being. She was murdered in cold blood. And up to today's date, it seems to be that enough emphasis not being placed on this case. And I'm not sure that Liberians themselves should forget this case because probably that's not their child, probably that's not their sister, or that's not, probably in their mind, that's not a human being. When I think of people dying, think about it. Why if it was you? Why if it was your child? Why if it was your sister? Or why if it was a relative or your best friend, your classmate? Liberians should always stand up for one another to challenge the government to make all necessary report or reveal all necessary evidence or all investigation findings from this investigation to be made public. It shouldn't be a matter of begging. These people are taking salary, they're taking resources from the people of Liberia, so they are under obligation to work and release the report of this guy's death. There shouldn't be one of those cases again that people will play fun with it. At the end of the day, there will be no investigation. Princess Cooper got killed. We will assume because since there has been no report, and that other case has died down. Imai Yiswa, the other auditors, and all the other persons have died. Yet there is no findings, and Liberians don't care, it seems to me. Anything that happens in Liberia, just like wildfire, just blaze. And after a few weeks, it died down, it's over with. About all two people, you don't wait to be killed. When you kill your own, it's over. Even those who sort of put pressure on the government, they don't care. Civil society organization, because if the government was getting the heat from the people, they would have made the report. I'm not saying go take guns though. That's what I'm saying. But in a very good democracy, under such circumstances, the people should stand up to urge the government to do an investigation on the matter, so that those who committed the crime will be forwarded to court to have that day in court. The more the government delay, let us assume there was, because it's not a secret that this guy got killed. So whoever killed this guy, whether it was the Talia, whatever they call him, or whether it was a group of individuals, or whether it was even the Girl Scout, whatever it is, the government should submit her findings for those people to court. But when you delay, right now we understand that Talia is not even in Liberia. They say he left ever since. Is that true? We do not know. Is the government going to tell us? Because the fact that that fellow named Surface, he should have been in the country until, even if his name is not forwarded, the government should say why his name was not forwarded. If there's no sufficient reason to link him, the government should say it. But the government is under obligation to say who killed that girl. That's someone else's child. Think about it. What if this girl, let's assume, God forbid, I'm not wishfully thinking of anybody, but if that girl or that person that got killed was a child of any senior government official, they would have been on it. I don't want to say the child was anybody's name, because when I call people name now, they'll say, oh, this. But think about it. If that person that was killed was part of someone in the executive branch, someone in the judiciary, or someone in the legislative branches of government, by this time there would have been some people would have been in jail. By this time, somebody would have been in jail. Always say, this should not be one of those matters that the government will not report on. You have all of the security apparatus get all of the biggest share of the national budget. You have people called NSA, some intelligence, and blah, 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 and all of those people there. Are you telling me they don't have that intelligence up to this time? They don't have no clue as to who killed that girl? You went to a crime scene. Wherever that girl blood was, wherever a blood spill, you should have, even my common sense, I still feel that the Liberia National Police or the Justice Ministry should have clue by this time. It shouldn't be telling maybe that environment. Somebody say, okay, that this person, another person, that this person. When this kind of situation happen in a very good democracy, it is just expedient for the justice minister to take the microphone every time, because he should know that Liberians are concerned about this matter. But the silence of the government is hurtful. It's not happening in Liberia. There's no way in the world the kind of situation can happen and people will sit on it for months. Even let us assume you have not reached a conclusion of your investigation, you should have a press briefing almost every now and then and give the people updates. But guess what? It was if it was the situation was like the George Floyd situation in America, you all were up there talking all kinds of stuff, calling America or Banana Republic. It is in your situation. You cannot even stand for yourselves. Nobody is saying go and take stone. Nobody is saying go and destroy things. But even if you are just taking the street, take a placards. Or a librarian will say, if we don't get the report, there will be no work today. Don't fight it. No damage to anybody thing. But just stay on the road with our placards. Musa then would have been obliged to take some actions that would have said something about this guy's death. But everybody quiet. Because probably you don't feel for that girl death. But think about it. Think about it. Maybe the little girl probably standing to the gate or trying to prevent this young man and from reaching the mother. That's one children we got. And then she was stabbed to death. I wasn't in that house, but I feel the pain, the painful death of that girl. Every time I think about it, we that get children, you open your mind, you say, why if it was me? And that's why we keep talking about it. And we think the justice let me say this to the justice minister, the George Weah, and everybody. In fact, George Weah himself, it seems to be he doesn't care. Because he should be calling for this report. If Weah would have said to the justice minister, look, this is overdue, I need a report. Who cares? I want to know. Mr. D would have sent a report. And this is why sometimes if you have an executive branch that is not forceful enough, people who are subordinates, they will always play the fun at a situation. This is a crucial matter. The primary purpose of the government is to protect lives and property. So if even a single life is lost, it should be a matter of concern from the executive branch all the way down to the lower men in the country. The president should be telling the justice minister, we want a report. In fact, the president will give the justice minister's timeline. Within the next 2 months, you should bring a report. Next 3 weeks, you must bring some preliminary report. Let us know what happened. If you feel that nothing has happened, the guy died a natural death, make a report and say where the guy died a natural death. If you're like criticizing you, you say whether a report you have. Or the guy died and probably you don't have no report, just give it to them. We will criticize you that you're not doing nothing. But at least you have make a report. It doesn't augur well for a striving country. So every time you sit down, you hear the person died, or the person got killed, not died. The person got killed. And nothing is happening. No one is speaking from the government end. So on this matter, please, Musa Councillor Dean, you are under obligation. You know, people can always play with serious matters. This case could drag all the people to some kind of a court, even after your government would have passed. Out of the death, you are under obligation to give an account of every person that died in our country. George Weah first, Musa Dean second, you all that are heading the country. Mysterious circumstances where people die, literally missing men. Out of those situations, you could be forced tomorrow to give an account. No matter how long it takes. There could be a very serious government that will call all of you people to give an account of those people that have died, or that got killed, or that got missing. So this is the best time. Do your investigation and release a report. You don't wait until maybe sometime. Liberia can be the same all of the time. There will come a time there might be some serious a group of persons that will say, well, they'll open fire for all of those deaths. Albert Peters, Gay Lama, and Imaya Yinswa, or the three missing men, and Princess Copper, there could come a time to open fire on all of those cases. And ask the justice minister, you were justice minister when those people got killed. You must give an account of those people. Then maybe you said the people wish hunting you. The thing you're supposed to do, you don't do it, there will come a time. If I'm justice minister, trust me, even the we are man will be the first person dragging the court. Because when you are the head of government, you are under obligation. You're the superior person. You are under the constitution say the primary purpose for the reason why you wanted to become president was to protect life and property. So if a life is lost under some mysterious circumstances and there is no account, the government of Liberia is under obligation to give account. Whether you give an account today or when even you leave power, somebody can bring you on board to give an account. So you must be take this thing serious. I mean, anything can happen. Besides that, the international community can take this matter very seriously. Anytime. They can call you justice minister to go to the international court and give an account of this missing persons or death. Some of you forgetting that they have international partners that are sitting right in Monrovia. They get their own way of recording events and investigating. You are forgetting, but people are investigating these matters, asking questions, going probably people maybe go in a plain clothes and ask all of the questions, gather their facts, and whatever is that they just sit with it. Why are you playing fun with it? There could come a time they say, well, okay, Musa Din was justice minister at the time. This person was then police director, and blah 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 blah. These people must come and give an account. Then when they start on you, when they say, people wish hunting you, this guy being dead, they also rest in peace. But why can't find who killed this guy? The obligations on you, Musa Din. We hope in the next few days or weeks you will give a preliminary report. Then I should not even be preliminary because it's already late. However, you can give a report. Nothing serious will happen if you just sit in Liberia themselves. It's like people always have on their lips, we are our brother's keeper, Christian nation. But somebody child got killed in cold blood. No, but I beg, is our job, we are relative, out of a different group, the women group in the street, all of the young men, everybody want to take the street to the demonstrating for this, that, and all that stuff. That young girl, she had a future. Everything just went down the drain. She's dead and gone. The honorable thing I can do is to find a killer. All right. So that's the first topic for today. We hope we challenging the governor of Liberia, George Weah. We challenging him to take this girl's death very seriously and mandate the justice ministry to submit before him a comprehensive report as to who may have been the killer of that girl. If the government, from our investigation, everything points to Gloria Scott, send Gloria Scott to court. Send her to court. If you have all convincing reason that she's probably the doer of the allegation, allegedly, send her to court. But you can't sit on it. She can go and defend herself and clear herself if she knows she's not the doer. But to sit and don't do anything about it, and people just keep talking about it in a kind of a, I don't know, but it's bad. And so that's our call. We call on George Weah and the Justice Ministry and the police to release the report as to who killed that girl or who may have been the killer of that girl. It is important. All right. So that's the first point we wanted to emphasize. So most of you who are part of our discussion or following us, it is important that everybody think about life. If someone stab you, just in a split second, your life is lost. If you get a parent living, they will grieve the rest of their life. The rest of their life. Chaloe Musu's mom going to be crying the rest of her life. She will never ever forget that. Think about it. The father will never ever forget that. The relatives will never ever forget that. So the best can do, at least if the killer is found or someone is being sent to court, that will even ease the pain of those people rather than killing someone's child and nothing come out of it. So that's our challenge to the government. There are still people who are listening to the government. It may not be some of us. Maybe we are here, people may think that, well, they're just causing noise. But I know there are serious-minded people who are taking stock, who are taking these matters very seriously. So do not sit on there and think nothing will happen. There probably will come a time that each of you could give an account. All right? Well, let's look at politics a little bit. Joseph Bockite running mate, Jeremiah Kuhn, Kwan Kuhn, Jeremiah Kwan Kuhn. I listened to a recording from Jeremiah Kuhn, and that recording is a very bad publicity for the young man himself. Everything in that recording create a lot of doubt about his dealings and things that he said he has done before. Now I don't know him, so for his own mouth is what I'm making my analysis on. Jeremiah Cohn had a long interview, and I someone forwarded that to me, and I listened to it, and I said, "Wow, a vice president of Liberia to be said." He explained all his stories. I mean, some of his stories, they are all, we know normally most of us that grew up in Liberia, it was either some tough time, everybody has some rough experience, either your parents were not able to provide for you, there were some people who were giving you handouts, or some family member who took you, and all of those things, I mean, is not unique to Jeremiah Combs. Most of us, even myself, we here, if it wasn't the grace of other people who came to help us, probably some of us would have been there, would have been sitting where we are sitting. Even though we don't have that, you know, money bags like others will have. But I always told people, it's better to be alive, it's better to be um, among your peers. So there's a reason why I want to emphasize on Jeremiah Cohn. His explanation about himself, there are a lot of questionable issues that he raised. And I will start with the first one. Jeremiah Kuhn said he went to school and in the 1990s he was in the third grade. And from the interview, he said his own record of saying he did not go to school until 1996. So from third grade, 1996, he should be in third grade. Listen to me, I will play the recording not today, but I'll play another day. But this is a serious issue that even Baka himself, they should catch his attention. Because these are things that could embarrass you people tomorrow when you all take power. In fact, this is a recording that should even embarrass the senators themselves at this time, not even waiting for election. This couldn't have been a miracle. The senator would have been a very serious mess. Now, I'm just giving a little facts about it. I'm going to play that tape someday. I don't have the time to play that tape, but that tape, I'll play it. And tape is on record. It's from the senator's own mouth. The senator said in 1990 he was integrate, and he didn't go to school until 1996. Yet, in 2000, 2001, he graduated from high school. How? That's the question we ask. And that's the catch for the senator. And the senator will have to explain himself further. Because if he didn't go to school from 1990 to 1996, so 1996 should have been a third grade still. But he didn't go to school from 1990. So 1990, he didn't go to school. He didn't go to school 92, he didn't go to school 93, he didn't go to school 94, he didn't go to school 96. Let us assume 96 you went to school. So if you're integral in 1990, you didn't go to school in 1996, what class will you be in 1996? Very likely you'll be integral, or the maximum you'll be in fourth grade. That's the maximum. You'll be in fourth grade in 1996. So if you're in fourth grade, because I give you the benefit of the doubt, 1 year I give it, but you're not supposed to be in fourth grade even. You should still be integral from the house's own mouth. So 96 you should still be integral. But 96, let's give the benefit of the doubt. We'll take 96 to be in fourth grade. 96 you are in fourth grade. 97 you should be in fifth grade. 98 you should be in sixth grade. 99 you should be in seventh grade. 2000 you should be what? At most, eighth grade. At most, 2000 should be in eighth grade. So what happened? You graduated 2000, 2001. 2000, 2001, I graduated from the University of Liberia. So 2000, 2001, Jeremiah Kun said he graduated from high school. How did he take the 12th grade? Why did he take the 12th grade in the first place? Why? If he didn't go to school throughout 96 up to 96, how did he become a 12th grade student? This Liberia is not issue driven. Liberia election is not issue driven. People wouldn't want to follow crowd. But if people were serious to look at the Jeremiah's own recording will haunt him. That's a very serious matter. Because he cannot justify that. I'm not sure he can justify that. And I'm not sure he can deny it because the recording is a video. It's not just voice, it's a video. So except he decide now to deny all of what he said on that recording, and probably, I don't know what kind of excuse he will give. Other than that, that recording is damaging to the prospective vice president for Joseph Boakai. Liberian people, guess what? All of those people who are now contesting, some of them will not talk until after election. Assuming Joseph Boakai will win, then they will pick up this issue and they want to run with it. That's the best time to discuss, because at the end of the day, you embarrass the country. Why will you allow an election? Why it is true that democratic-wise it would be good for you to do those stuff, but why would you even want to allow it to go that far? The very united party, they themselves should be, all of those who call themselves academicians, they should be the one to pick up this issue. But guess what? They will not. That Liberia, your course not beyond George Weah. Say it's not, say it's in your shoe now, they will pretend there's no issue with it. That's the worst of it. If anything that is wrong is wrong during George Weah time, it should be wrong in your time, it should be wrong in whoever time. But you can't pretend about these things. To lie on an oath is a serious matter. Perjury. The American government would have said, you commit DeSantos, oh my God, that's comparative. DeSantos admitted that he lied on his resume. That is haunting him right now. Like, bro, put your closer eyes on it. Somebody get up and talk everything, his own record. Even senators themselves, for the sake of government, he would have told Jeremiah Cohen to provide clarity for himself. If I was in the Liberian Senate, that's not being witch hunting, that's just the fairness of running a government. If you senator, what will you do? You better say, oh, Jeremiah Cohen, we have a recording on you. It's your own voice. You had to go to the Judicial Committee and answer questions and provide all supporting documents that will speak freely, fairly, and in a very transparent manner as to comparing your voice with whatever document you have with the Liberian Senate. Even the party that he says he's chairman for, the party is going to be asking him some questions. That's a more honorable thing to do. But Liberians, like somebody said, oh, the man is a leader, he now run for 2 terms, and somebody will even say now bold business to run government business. Like, can you are you kidding me? That's what some people start saying already, this year, they all kind of stuff. Oh yeah, but yeah, there are other people you will go behind it, you will go all out for them. When you're shooting and you keep quiet. Unity Party, all of you guys, all of you that can, what do you call the other guy? Okay, let me leave a name calling. Well, all of you guys in the Unity Party, all of you listening to that recording, you're pretending that you don't know nothing about it. There's nothing wrong with it. Look at the men that are running me, the men from Nima County, Nima get rich vote. So when everybody close their eye on it, Prince Johnson, nobody, I don't want to say, nobody want to walk around cold right now. Everybody mute because you want vote. Then when you win, then you go after Prince Johnson. But that Prince Johnson too is stand up. He said, well, this. So you can campaign on the basis of your message to the people of Liberia. They won't vote for you, fine. They don't want to vote for you, it's up to them. If you have a very good platform, you can change your country and people don't see it, it's up to them. But you cannot pretend about these situations. A senator is saying he was integral in 1990. He didn't go to school in 1996. But yet he graduated from high school 2000, 2001. How possible could that be? It's not possible. If I heard this thing from somebody else, I probably wouldn't be talking the way I'm talking. But from his own mouth, it's not possible to have graduated 2000, 2001. He cannot justify that. If you put forth any document, that document will be fraudulent. So that's how it is. Jeremiah Cohen cannot justify his credentials. That recording that he put out is embarrassing. And we embarrass him further. So that's what we want to talk about, Jeremiah Cohen. The second thing he said, okay, the other one sort of said, oh, this and that. People sit and get a microphone before you. You probably don't know what to say and you're talking things just out of talk things that probably just incriminate yourself. You say the people used to like King Juice business, so you buy King Juice to go sell it. So you buy King Juice, 2 gallons of King Juice, you take 1 gallon of water and put it in the King Juice and you go sell it to the people. You know what is that? Nothing wrong with that. That's a serious matter. Very serious. Only in Liberia, kind of thing when I catch the minds of the people. Only in Liberia. Those situations will not bother the people of Liberia. That wouldn't happen anywhere else. A certain senator will sit on radio publicly and say, well, I was doing some bad business. I used to take water and mix it with, let's say, for example, maybe it's almost like saying about 2 cup of water, 2 cup of rice, and take 1 cup of sand and put it inside and go sell it because you want to get you want to get 4 cups of rice or 5 cups of rice, so that you make it plenty, so that people can see it. So, oh yeah, the rice plenty. They don't care what it's saying inside or not. Do you know how much persons you probably would have embarrassed as a result of making no utterances? You even embarrassed Joseph Boca man, but guess what? He will not talk. Joseph Boca listened to the recording, and I'm sure someone he scratched his head. That's a serious mistake. It's not how much gown you wear, how many clothes you, how many shoes you wear, whether you get money, you don't get money. That's not the issue here. The issue is you have incriminated yourself. You are on record. The United Party or such should be embarrassed. You know. So those are the two things. The next one we probably want to look at is people who to be vice president bid. Everybody's struggling for people. Look, Liberia can get better if people even decide to form a team, a clean ticket, and that ticket, even when the people will reject the ticket, it's just a matter of time. They will know for themselves. If they will be in captivity, you will sit on the fence and look at their poor decisions. But if you craft a good message and you can campaign very well, you probably will get a people vote. Liberians are yearning for change. But sometimes when they get confused, and the only thing is, okay, well, this thing we're looking at is, I just I'd rather vote for this person. The bulk of Liberians are not decided yet as to who to vote for. We listen to somebody from Grand Basel, an interview, or Maryland. And that way you can know that Liberians are thinking through decisions. They may not have the sophistication, but they are thinking through decisions. Right now, it's like they are all in a state of confusion. But it's important that this election be a milestone to change our country around. And Liberians will have to make a decision. How it's going to be, it's up to them. Those of you who are inside the country, you have to make a decision. You can't depend on international partners all of the time of your life. The world is becoming complex every day. There are a lot of things that are going on. People are concerned about, you know, the world, how the world is going. Even with all of the events of Ukraine and Russia war that's bringing all of the globe together, not together, but into this war, you can't sit at a third world country and don't worry about these things. You should be concerned about it. Because if the war will escalate or will intensify or will engulf other big nations, maybe it'll be at a global of some of the people who in power in Africa, right? Because it's like they wouldn't care. They would just feel like, well, this is what we have now. It's our time. But it's important to look at these matters very seriously and look into the future and be able to reach a conclusion. Help the poor people, the children, create a future for those children. The war is not about you guys. Some of you are 50, 60, 70, and you name it. So this is the time that you prepared a country for the youthful generation. Leave behind a society better than the way you met it. That's the best way. That's the only reason why people should be fighting for power. If I want to be president, I want to be president because I don't want to become president because any other person did it before. No. That's not the reason why you become president. You become president to change the condition that you saw. It's not about want to be president because you want to wear all the nice clothes, you want to eat all the best food, You want to build all of the houses, then you say, "Oh yeah, I mean, I'm number one. I'm better than everybody in the country. Your children go to the best schools," and then you say, "That's what you want." That's not how society was built. In America, those who built this country, the different bridges that we drive on, were not built by anybody in this time. Those who built the bridges been dead and gone ever since. Only thing people do now, they just recondition. Look at it. Maybe other places are opening, they either they join or extend. That's what they're doing right now. Everybody in this, even Joe Biden, I'm sure he wasn't living when the bridges, those major bridges were built in this place. All they're doing right now is maintenance. But like, you didn't even get, like I said, people don't even know how those bridges are the one on the water side, the one the Simport Bridge, how the bridges, the condition of the bridges. I'm very sure people don't care. People don't even know what is happening underwater. Nothing people do is sell in the morning, they cause the noise, and everybody feel they're running a government. All right. So that's the factor that we thought to discuss this morning. The next one we're thinking about is this election is crucial. Political parties. I think I'm reading there's 24 political parties. So it means then that those 24 political parties are under obligation to ensure the peaceful elections, transparent elections, credible, an election will be free of violence. And that can happen if people collaborate. Now this is it. Collaboration doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to negate or forget your party. But you have to discuss. There will be some common issues, commonality of thought, and you bring the ideas on board for the general good of a society that you find yourself in. Because guess what? It's all about ideas, all about thought. Sometimes even I will sit here, there are times I may say some stuff, it could just be solution for some other issues. Or somebody may say something. That's why your collaborations should be just about how can you all help to build Liberia? How can you influence international partners to help our country? In the absence of doing those things, it's a waste of time. Election will soon be over. October 10 will come and go. The next one will happen will be governance. The governance time that time will hear all of the other noise. Some of you people who are collaborating will be condemning the very people. Because some of you are joining these people and you only join them because you think you will have leverage, you will have friendship with them, you'll be part of the kitchen cabinet or you'll be part of the cabinet. That's the only reason why people are not condemned. So when that person is doing anything wrong, you're not going to talk because guess what? You want to be part of that person's association. Because of that, one person wouldn't talk. People feel to talk now is the dangerous thing to do because guess what? The game, the wind is blowing left, right, and center. So people don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to put myself in hands with anybody. A broker win, that's fine for me. A coming wins, that's fine for me. A job win, that's fine for me. All to do is nobody going to know where I stand. Even the media, some of them are not collaborators, which is detrimental to the country. It's never going to help Liberia in any way. So these are issues that we think and talk about. We're going to be discussing this matter continuously and look into what's going on. The lawmakers, they have no obligation to do a lot of things, but whether they're doing it doesn't matter. Right now, it's like everybody is campaigning, and they shouldn't be campaigning. Like I saw the Speaker of Buffer Chambers and George Weah on poster. The Speaker of the House of Representatives taking poster to to Neverland County. And the sticker, there is his own photo. He got the money all on the table, brand new money. You see what Prince Johnson was saying, Senator Johnson. He said the people took the poor printed the money, they keeping the money just for campaign. And you prove Prince Johnson right. But for Chima went to oh my God, went to Maryland County, and the brand new money have never ever been used. He displayed it on the table. And then right now when people when the media write their stories, then you want to deny, you know, and say you're not engaged in vote buying. Everything you did about it. And guess what? We listen to some people, some market with me. They say, what? Instead of you bidding, um, what does that word? Instead of you bidding trade schools for the young people to go to school, you take the money 5 years, the 6th year, then you take part of that and carry on the campaign trail. But the people are getting very, very sensitive. Some of you may be very surprised. If Liberians are very, if they are very sober for 5 years, you're going to have a very big surprise. All right. So that's what we want to talk about. Or those are the things we want to talk about. Once again, we're challenging the George Weah government to account for the death of Chaloe Musu. It shouldn't be seen like this is one issue that will die down. This girl, she's dead and gone. But at least you'll find out who killed her. Most of them, your owner obligation to give Liberia an update. We say, Alfonso, my own man, tell your boss, you put on obligation to say something about this guy's death. You'll release a report. I know you'll get something on a report. Maybe you're just afraid, maybe why you're afraid. But hey, if your findings are so clean and you show whatever you wrote in there is just the finding, there's nothing to fear. Release a report. Let Liberian judge you by that report. Okay? And yeah, so that's we're talking about Joseph Bogan, vice president running mate. Yeah. His account about his background is disturbing. It's embarrassing to Joseph Bogan and the Unity Party. Someone are paying deaf ears to that, but it's a serious matter. Nobody told Jeremiah Kun to speak, but that recording is not good for him. If our public relation person for him, damage control would have been the best way out. Other than that, that's a bad, there's nothing good he said. That recording, if you really listen, if you really, really sit and listen to it and compare his voice with every event that he's involved in, you see a lot of things into it that is not correct. It's not correct. You talk about education is bad. Talk about business dealing is bad. So somebody will say, "Oh, is this how you did your business dealings?" Is that America? To America, you are being a very serious problem. You see the people down here, they don't take nothing for good. You see, even their former president, that's how the people go about. The people build system. Okay, so that's what I have for you all today, and come to the close of today discussion. Until next time, leave your comment, share the video, and we'll be glad to be part of you too by answering or engaging your comments. Once again, this is the African Actions Network. I'm James Jensen, and this has been Inside Liberia. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, this is how we want to draw the curtain. Have a pleasant and a wonderful day. Okay.